Good morning, most beautiful, immortal souls. Untold beauty, untold love, untold happiness, unalloyed, unending, ever new joy. And of course, that spirit bliss oneness. We bow, we humbly bow. We throw ourselves into the sacred fire that's going to burn up everything that is not this overwhelming, overarching, all permeating, desire of your heart, desire of your being, desire of your soul to merge, to let go, to surrender. Just be happy, be content like a little child. Stay in your inner chamber of silence, of peace. I'd just like to maybe start with a few words of Yogananda. You can close your eyes and just feel the blessings of that great master and God and Christ, Holy Mother, friend, beloved God, angels and archangels. We are here this morning to merge with you. We are here this morning to know only thee. We are here to surrender everything that we are into that merging with you. And so it is. This is from Yogananda's new lessons. It's called Bringing the Power of Silence into Your Life. Classic statements, classic truth, not to be forgotten ever, right? We want to show God that we want him, only him and her. We want to have our attention only on that which we love the most, right? Don't you? That's what you do anyway when you really love something, whatever it is, material, immaterial, have a hobby, God, anything that serves you, anything, whatever. When you love something, you have no problem focusing on. That's the kind of focus that we're going to be blessed with this morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. So this is what Yogananda says: practice the art of silence. When tigers of worries, sickness, and death are chasing you. Seems like there's no one that's going to avoid the tigers chasing. Not in this 3D HD heavy delusion, man. Right? There's a tiger after us. When tigers of worries, sickness, and death are chasing you. Oh, let's let Brooke in. So the tigers don't get her. She's safe on the stream. We're all safe in the consciousness of God. Yes, we are. In the love of ourself. Capital S, in the love of ourself. I love myself. I love my higher self. I want to be my higher self, you know? It's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be my higher self. Have we grown up enough, everybody? Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Brooke, Lisa, and Narayan. Have we grown up enough to want to be our higher self? Huh? I think that's where we're heading, if not on the fast track to that realization and to that joy. When tigers of worry, sickness, and death are chasing you, your only sanctuary is the inner temple of silence. The spiritually deep individual lives day and night in a calm interior silence. Do you want to live day and night in a calm interior silence, the silence of this universe, the silence of your soul, the silence from where you have come from, the silence you were born with and in, and the silence that you are in now but don't know it so much, and the silence that you're going back to? Wouldn't you love to live day and night in a calm interior silence, observing all the changes from a changeless place of inner stillness and, of course, God presence? Isn't that a beautiful? That's fundamentally you. That is truly you. And that is all happening in your heart chakra. How beautiful is that? The spiritually deep individual lives day and night in a calm interior silence into which neither menacing worries nor even the crash of colliding worlds can intrude. Clash of colliding worlds. That's a lot of chaos going on. That's a lot of collisions. That's a lot of noise. Crash of colliding world, but it doesn't intrude upon your unbelievable returning to that reunion of your soul. You, the little self, returning to your soul self, and that soul self ready to just expand into its big self, right? The higher self. That's where we're at. Those who enter that temple of silence are able to commune with other God-bent souls. So it's safe to say, Narayan and Lisa and Jen and Brooke, that I'll see you as you're a God-bent soul. You have no other desire but union with that great creator, and then the beyond, and then the source of that creator, the infinite spirit bliss oneness, right? You have no other, so you're God bent for sure. So in that silence, I'll see you. In that deep stillness, beyond our thinking, beyond our planning, beyond any concern of this world at all. Because quite frankly, the last two words or the last sentence that we talked about last week, it was the end of verse 18. I think I'll just plug that in and then finish reading a little bit from Yogananda about silence. We're going to admit Mickey. Welcome, Mickey. All our love to you, Mickey, as always. A conjoining of our hearts this morning and a merging of our souls into the great I am. Oh, this is beautiful stuff. This is heavenly stuff. So we'll just sit back, surrender to how heavenly is your life becoming. That this portable paradise that you carry within you as yourself, as your mortal soul, is just coming alive and it wants to just do everything for you, you know. It wants to do all the heavy lifting. Just like in the Jesus calling this morning, step by step, just go step by step with me. Don't look out and see the mountains that we're going to climb together, because I may take you on another route, right? I might take you on a real safe route. And if we do go up the mountains, I am going to assist you every step of the way. And not only that, I'm gonna put my angels on you to make sure that your foot doesn't step on one stone that gets you off balance. We may read that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's let Robert Fries come in. Let's let Robert Fries come in. Bob Fries. In other words, AKA Bhavananda. All right, so let me just give you a little hint of what we studied last week in verse 18. When we quieted down all that feeling, all that emotion, that chitta, and we subjugated it and calmly established it in this self, this soul self, which is the centerpiece of your heart, my dear. The soul self, so the heart, center of your heart, center of yourself, center of your being, right here in the heart space. That's where we live, move, and have our being. This is where we generate all our breath. This is where home, this is where we go to for the refuge, the sanctuary, right? The silence is a sanctuary. So just in that last line then, it says that stanza, verse 18 that we had last week, points out that the yogi and yogini should be fully concentrated. Fully concentrated. That means your whole attention. And if you're going to be inattentive to something, that's the worldly stuff, your mental stuff, gyrations, your emotional feelings, and the past that keeps haunting you, that chases you, the tigers of worries and fears that are chasing you, right? We want to be inattentive to that and be fully concentrated and enjoying the blessed perception of our soul, ourself. Don't you love ourself? Don't you love yourself? Huh? Aren't you madly, deeply, just completely surrendered to that self of yours, that soul self? So you're fully concentrated on that inner self, right in the center of your heart. Everything is generated now from the center of our heart. Everything that we, when we come back from being distracted, we come back into the heart. Home is where your heart is, right? And the breath is going to take you home into the heart. That we're fully concentrated in enjoying the blessed perceptions of our soul. Fully concentrated. Fully concentrated. And thus so absorb our feelings, whatever they may be, about this and about that, good, bad, or ugly, or transcendent, or transcendental. We absorb all those feelings that they are uninfluenced by material longings. We're so fully concentrated on how beautiful we are, how peaceful is our self, how absolutely unalloyed in the happiness our soul self is truly. We are all of that. And then to read more about Yogananda's words on silence. Those who enter the temple of silence are able to commune with the God-bent souls, other God-bent souls. They comprehend the conversation of flowers and of all living creatures. So when you stop thinking, my dear, and you are all about the loving, because you can't do both, then stop thinking like a mortal and start loving like an immortal, right? You're going to be able to comprehend the conversation of flowers and of all living creatures, and you're going to be able to have intercommunion remotely, virtually, with all other God-bent seeking souls who are resonating on the same wavelength, so to speak, as you and me, the God-bent souls. That means you can commune with the divine. You can commune with the angels. We can commune with each other. That means everything is all is well. Everything is okay. Everything is all right in everybody. Because quite frankly, and everybody and everything is a no thing. And so as soon as we see any person, any animal, if you want to start to detach from this outer world and detach from the restlessness, and the mind that just won't shut up, right? Giving you really bad information, giving you really bad guidance. If you want to be free from that, then you want to be able to detach, which is don't ever, this is the algorithm, don't ever think about changing him, for the H in the word detach, her, or happenings. Changing anything, because you're a changeless soul, now establishing yourself in that changelessness, joy, peace, happiness. You don't want to budge. Looking out from your heart space as a heart witness, as a heart watcher, as a love bliss in communion, as a love being in communion in your heart, watching everything, being entertained, observing it from like a silent movie. There's no talking. And it can be in black and white, or it can be in Technicolor, whatever you choose. All right? Because then we can understand the conversation of flowers and of all living creatures and commune with God-bent souls and departed loved ones and the angels. The more you are silent, the more happiness you will find. The more you quiet the mind, quiet the thoughts, quiet your desires, quiet your longings, quiet your fears, just get out of the way of that tiger that's chasing you. Go within into your sanctuary. It can't go there. It can't go anywhere. The darkness can't follow you into the light, and the restlessness can't follow you into the peace. Remember, you're first the peace. You're first the soul. And then the pseudo soul kicks in, and all of a sudden it's just restless city, right? Can't sit still, can't control the mind, worried about everything. Run, run, run. What joy awaits discovery in the silence behind the portals of your mind? What joy awaits discovery in the silence behind the portals of your mind? No human tongue can tell. But you must convince yourself, my dears. Ryan, Mickey, Lisa, Jen, Brooke, Bhavananda, We must convince ourselves. No, who else is going to do that convincing? Obviously, I like to help you with that. I try to inspire you to be that way, right? But I can't convince you. Nothing can convince you, but you convince yourself that there is a place inside of you that is so beautiful, so quiet. Everything you've ever dreamed about, God's presence as silence. God loves silence. Only you can convince yourself that that place exists. You must convince yourself. You must meditate and create that environment. Those who deeply meditate feel a wonderful inner quiet. This stillness within should be maintained. The stillness within. Imagine. It's one thing to even, consider the word silence, which also has the same, the word silence, right? Even consider that. But to maintain that, to be able to cultivate, to have a way of life, a way of being, of having your focus only on experiencing God, can only be experienced in that stillness, in that silence, right? And once we have it, it needs to be cultivated even more so you can maintain it even when in the company of other people. And when you're in the company of other people and they're doing their people thing and their human thing, just let that one go. With such compassion, just like you're not that they're not that. Neti, not this, not that. I'm not this human person that maybe is causing all the scene, right? Or is whining and complaining, whatever. I'm not that. They aren't either. So strip them and give them the freedom. Give them the ticket to ride and just see them as light. But they are more than light. They're more than the beautiful light. If you want to see who they are even deeper, then see them as pure consciousness. It has nothing to do with even the light. Pure God consciousness. And if you want to really, really see someone, see them as the spirit bliss. Spirit are us. Spirit bliss. Spirit bliss. Break everything down that way. Look at your animals that way. Look at your children that way. Because if you're just stuck on seeing them as a personality, as you detach, man. Detach. Don't ever think about changing him or her or any happening. Don't ever think about it. Right? Detach. What are you thinking? First of all, you don't want to be thinking. Second, you're too busy absorbed in the loving of I love myself. And myself is the same as yourself. We're talking high self, right? It should be maintained, this stillness within, this silence within. When we're with others, and it helps to have the silence help you just peel it apart, peel the layers off of you, off of everyone. See them in the spirit. The ultimate is spirit are us. Then the pure joy consciousness of Creator, beyond the light. Then see them as light, all right? Or see them as cosmic energy. See them as the Om. And the last resort is to see them as a person. And the last resort is to connect with them from person to person. We want to at least connect heart to heart and then soul to soul, right? What you learn in meditation, practice, and activity and conversation. Let no one. So in the piece of meditation, you want to practice that in activity and conversation, wherever you go, whatever you see. Just peel it apart, man. So that silence can just be the only thing you're living in. And the bliss watcher, the love watcher, or just this radiance that's pouring out of you, yourself from the heart space, or beaming from every cell of your body, radiating. Let no one dislodge you from that calm state. Hold on to your peace. When you meet people, do not be affected by their state of consciousness. Jennifer, underline. When you meet people, do not be affected by their state of consciousness. Because as soon as you do that, you're judging them. As soon as that, they're either this or that in your mind. All of a sudden, your mind's spinning because we're so addicted to just seeing people as people and affected by their state of consciousness. Be one of those who are ever singing of God. Remain aloof from those who reveal undesirable qualities. So just strip those undesirable qualities, right? And if you don't know how to do that, then you got to leave the undesirable qualities of people alone. But strip them down to the light. Then you can accept, embrace, and Divine Mother will give you the compassion to love this soul, and that they're ranting and raving just because you have the ability as a divine being, as this immortal self in the center of your heart. You see? Then it doesn't matter. But if you just, in the meantime, stay away from undesirable qualities in people. Be with people in silence. Don't spend precious time and energy in idle talk. Wow. Don't spend precious time and energy in idle talk. Wow. Eat in silence. Work in silence. God loves silence. Even when death comes. And even when something just as is beyond your scope of understanding. That's why you don't want to be able to think anymore. You've got to go into this silence, this heart of silence, this sanctuary. That's where the soul self, where one spirit heart beloved dwells, right in the center of your heart space, right? We go there for everything. We don't leave there. We live from there. We look from there. We are no longer thinking about life. We're no longer rehashing the past, nor worried about the future. The tiger can't even touch you in this inner sanctuary, in the silence. Even death can't. Even when death comes, maintain your silence in communion with him. Depart from the body saying, I am a king, I am a queen of immortality sitting on the throne of silence. Little more. By regular, deep meditation, build an inner environment inviolable. So we call this stream the light of inner concentration, which is concentrates on everything we're talking about, everything we ever talk about, all the truth. We're concentrating on that inside, unbeknownst to anyone else. Only Spirit, only God, only your beloved. Practice silence. I remember the wonderful disciple of the great ones. When we used to talk and chatter, they would say, go back into your castle of silence. Do not recklessly slay your inner spiritual life. Oh, that's the real hurt on the planet. We recklessly slay our inner spiritual life by idle talk, by idle thoughts, right? You know, Yogan, Sri Yukteswar's chant, you did not meditate, you did not concentrate, and passed your time in idle words. Oh, my saint, wake yet wake. Oh, my saint, wake yet wake. It's time to meditate. It's time to concentrate. It's time to meditate. It's time to concentrate and to redeem thy soul, oh my saint. Wake yet wake, oh my saint. Yeah. Your peace will ebb away if we recklessly slay our inner spiritual life by idle talk. Your peace will ebb away to be lost forever. He says that. Huh? That forever may be because we get caught. We get caught in our old conditioning. And a lot of people can't budge from there in a lifetime or lifetimes. So if you have an inkling, if you have a love for peace, if love for silence, a love for truth. Oh my God. Come on, cultivate. Let's generate only that. Full concentration on that. All right. So, you ready to move to verse 19, my dears? Woo! Wow. That's all I can say. Verse 19, page 624. God Talks to Arjuna, volume 2. The illustration of an unflickering flame of light in a windless spot may be used in reference to a yogi and yogini who has conquered her feeling, his feeling, the chitta, by the practice of meditation on the self. And when, Oprah asked Thich Nhat Hanh, well, when do you meditate? How often do you meditate? Right? Have you been peaceful your whole life since you started meditating? And he just responded by saying, I practice and I apply. I practice and I train every single moment of my existence. He says meditation is any time you are focusing on yourself. That's why he calls it peaceful steps and deep breathing. All about I am walking onto who I am because I love my soul. I love my soul. I love myself, capital S. That's the very first most important thing, kids. You got to love this self. You got to love this self. Accept and embrace and love it. And then from that gift and grace of your soul, you'll be able to accept, embrace, and love the little self, right? More and more. You'll be able to accept all those things that you still flounder around and still, indulge in and get excited about and worried about. And you can just embrace it in this overarching love that your soul is, right? You can accept it, embrace it, and love what is. How perfect is that? So there's no excuse for not to be all loving all the time. See, stop thinking like a mortal and start loving as an immortal. Just make that the top priority of your life. Stop thinking you have to pause. You saw that thing I posted up on Facebook, right? Where Thich Nhat Hanh quote, where people are usually will comment, something happens and they're all chitta is all inflamed, emotionally excited or worried or in fear. And say, hurry, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to do something, right? And then he said, why don't you sit? Instead of do, why don't you sit, regroup, breathe deep, feel the silence, be pulled within to this ever existing, ever growing consciousness of who you really are, a beautiful divine soul right in the center of your heart space, right? The most beautiful place to be is in your heart space. He said, sit first, don't do, sit first, regroup, and you'll be guided from there, right? So usually when things happen and we get all excited, we're just like, we got to go fix this right now. No, stop. Turn within. Dive into your heart space. This is a beautiful quote from Ananda Moyima that I picked off the internet yesterday. There is nothing in this universe, beautiful picture of Yogananda with Ananda Moyima, right, in the autobiography, and also with Ramana Maharshi, just beautiful souls, deep, just all, Ananda Moyima said, I've always never changed. I've always been the same. I am a self. I am the mortal soul. I've never been anything else, ever. And that's the same thing with Ramana Maharshi, who Master met and really said, wow, just wanted to stay at his feet, man, right? He said, it's all about the I am presence, the self-presence. There is nothing in this universe that may be treated with disregard or contempt. Because when you strip all the material, all the restlessness, all the objects, the forms, which are an illusion anyway, it comes to light. And light is beautiful. Light is Christ. the infinite consciousness as the Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness in every atom, in every rock, in every animal, in you and me, in every being, right? So there's nothing in this universe that may be treated with disregard and contempt. God acts his divine play in infinite ways through infinite forms. Infinite ways through infinite forms. This is why we can't get caught up in a form, what it looks like, what it is, what kind of species this is, what kind of race this is, this culture, what this, come on, strip it down. None of it, have nothing to do with it. Have everything to do with absorbing your feelings in the blessed perception of your soul, self, in the heart space, the place of awakening, the place of intuition. Whoo! Can you guys read me loud and clear this morning? Is this resonating with you? She goes on to say, if you can develop inner beauty, inner peace, inner contentment, inside, in this temple of silence, in the silence of my heart, in the silence of this universe. Right in here. It's got to get warmer and warmer, brighter and brighter, happier and happier, more peaceful and peaceful, more loving. This is the ability that you have as a self right here, and it does everything. You don't do anything anymore, right? We just sit back as a watcher, as a bliss watcher, as a peace watcher, as a love watcher in the center of our heart. This is how we go about graduating from this earth place, man, in this prison of our own minds. This is how we graduate. If you can develop inner beauty and enshrine God, the ever beautiful, and here are her beautiful words, in the glorious temple of your heart. Enshrine everything beautiful, my dear. Everything that you dream about that's pure and holy and divine. Enshrine it in the center of your heart and go live there. Don't ever budge. You're in a solitary confinement. Only one, one spirit heart. Beloved, one spirit heart. Beloved, loved's in my heart. Beloved's in your heart. Beloved's in every heart. Just one spirit heart. One spirit heart, oh my beloved, only one spirit heart, oh my beloved, could there only be one love in my heart? Could there only be one love in your heart? Could there only be one love in all hearts? Could there only be one beloved? What's the problem? What's the concern? What you are that, and that is that. You are that. Burn your human story. Pull out your photo albums and on the level of your highest self and what is real and what is not real. Just burn the story. Burn it to a crisp today. Burn your story. Burn the darkness away. Burn, 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 burn. Burn it in the flames of love. Burn, 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 burn. Burn it in the flames of love. And get into this beautiful, beautiful enshrining yourself, your little self, into the big self that lives in the center of your heart. Enshrine yourself. Go live there today. Change your address today. Change your residence today. From the thinking mind ego to the soul self, free as a bird, free to love and be everything that it is in truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. In the glorious temple of your heart, this all takes place. You will then be able to perceive beauty in everything. The illustration of an unflickering flame of light. So we've created some light right now, right? We've been nonstop as usual. Just beautiful divine thought after divine thought, higher vibration, the merging of our heart spaces, right? And the convergence of that quiet that's there into the great stillness, into the great loving presence together, right? That's the light in the windless spot. There ain't no wind, there ain't no breeze, there ain't no worldliness. There are no tigers of worries and fears chasing you in this place, right? It's an unflickering light in a windless spot, may be used in reference to a yogi and yogini who has conquered her chitta, her feeling. Is it, her feeling, emotion, drama, trauma, earth life, not having control of the mind. By the way, this whole section we're in is attaining self-mastery and control of your mind. This is huge. These verses coming up, huge, huge, beyond huge. It's your time. It's a new moon today. It's a new start today. Today, my dears, live in peace. Walk in peace. And we'll get another confirmation of all this in our Jesus reading, all right? Follow me one step at a time. Follow me one step at a time. This is all I require of you. One breath, one step at a time. In fact, that is the only way to move through the space-time world. You see huge mountains looming, and you start wondering, how are you going to scale those heights? Meanwhile, because you're not looking where you're going, you stumble on the easy path where I'm leading you now. What in the future are you concerned about? It can be any detail. It can be, maybe you can get a mole. You can be a little detail of a molehill that becomes a mountain of a worry and a concern, and that chasing tiger idea, right? You see mountains looming, you start wondering how are you going to scale those heights. Meanwhile, because you're not looking where you're going, you stumble on an easy path that I'm taking you on now. This present moment isn't too important to not totally, fully embrace yourself in, or enshrine yourself in this present moment. As I help you get back on your feet, you tell me how worried you are about the cliffs up ahead. But you don't know what will happen today, much less tomorrow. Our path may take an abrupt turn, leading you away from those mountains. There may be an easier way up the mountains that is visible from this distance. If I do lead you up the cliffs, I will equip you thoroughly. Okay, so we have a challenging day of opportunities to grow spiritually. So what? He says, if I do lead you up those cliffs, I will equip you thoroughly for that strenuous climb. I will even give my angels charge over you to preserve you in all your ways. In my, the Divine Mother step where you're just surrendered into her everlasting arms, when you are in her dependent living, and they are assisting you all the time. Those angels are assisting us all the time, every little step, every breath, every moment, all the time. And finally, keep your mind on the present journey. It's a journey, my dears. Don't be in prison today. Don't be in fear and worry today. Don't be looking past, behind, in the future. Just this step with your beloved and this breath inside your heart space, in the peace, in the stillness, ever enlarging scope of awakening, of intuition that you have going on in your heart. Just keep your mind on this present journey, enjoying my presence. Walk by faith, not by sight, not by what you think you know, not by what the other people are saying. No, just walk by faith with me, not by sight, trusting me to open the way before you. And then in Psalm it says, he'll give you his angels charge over you to accompany and defend and preserve you in the ways of obedience and service. They shall bear you up on their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. The angels, divine mother's assistance is the assistance right now. The angels are with you right now. Can you imagine this soul self has got the support of the universe and beyond and the infinite and the supreme spirit? Total 100% support. In fact, you are totally 100% that. That is the I am. I am that. I am you. You are all beloved. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Whew. Big breath of spirit. Surrender to the stillness within. Immediately relax, let go. Nothing going on. Just the silence. Just the peace. For as long as you can comfortably keep that breath out. And then inhale again, full faith, full faith. God breath, spirit breath, filling up. God knows what you need right now, my dears. Breathe it. Have faith. And exhale. Just let go. Drop into the stillness. Drop into the silence. Drop into the joy of this present moment. And stay there for as long as you comfortably can without breath, not moving a muscle. Enjoying your heart space, getting warmer and warmer and filling up with more and more presence and more light, whatever it is that you choose as a soul quality of that beautiful diamond rayed soul self of yours. So many rays, so many soul qualities. And as soon as you focus on that inside your heart space, it goes off. And you start to experience that light. It's not just an idea. You start to experience that light. You start to feel that, oh my God. You start to feel God. Yeah. This unseen, unknown, maybe way out there kind of idea, this God idea. And all of a sudden, all that kind of thinking about God goes away, and you start to experience in an intuitive way that which you've been looking for ever since God gave you a body to find Him in. Gave you a body to find Him. Why are you on earth? You're not here to do your own thing, You're not here to accomplish this and to accomplish that, and to be great at this or great at that or whatever, or ever build hospitals, as Master once thought. No, you're on earth. In this body of, at best, is a nest of troubles and a mind that just won't shut up, right? That is a very bad neighborhood and a very, very, very bad companion to be listening to. Don't ever listen to your thoughts. Don't ever. Just that's that environment will get out of the way of the lower vibration. Just move on. Come back into your heart space immediately. Lickety split. Then that big slow breath, but just breathes in the support of your soul self, of God, the angels, everything, and then drop into that light, drop into the sea of peace, drop into the stillness, drop into the silence, drop into the arms of Divine Mother, drop into the green pastures where the masters are right now, where it's just deep peace, more and more stillness. In the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace. This is the heart. This is what you're doing here. I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee to my altar of peace. And coax thee to, see, as you start to feel and intuit that peace, you start coaxing the Great Spirit as that peace, the Holy Spirit as that peace, the peace that is the full-blown soul of you, the self of you. You would start to coax it. I'll coax thee to my altar of peace in the temple of samadhi, in the temple of bliss, all in the heart. Everything's happening in the heart now. In the glorious temple of your heart. Everything is in. This is where Yogananda said he had his samadhi. at the centermost point of intuitive perception in his heart, that we know God is the secret hiding place of God, of the one spirit heart, beloved. Could there only be one love in my heart, your heart, all hearts? Could there only be one, beloved? Yes. So as a steady flame of light from a candle or oil lamp, sheltered from the wind, reveals the beauty of material objects around it, so the unwavering light of inner concentration. You have it. You have concentration. You go after what you want to do and get, you get it, and you do it. You all have concentration. Imagine that you have now what? You're attaining self-mastery and control of the mind, so you have the ability to concentrate on one solitary, beautiful truth. Who you are, whose you are. You are soul awakening, and that awakening soul is going home in blissful reunion and union with spirit. Welcome to yoga, everybody. And it's all about this unwavering light of this inner concentration that you can sustain and maintain going on the inside in this sanctuary of peace, in this sanctuary, in the silence of your heart. There's just nothing can get your goat. No tigers, no worries, no fears. You are as happy as if you were just touched by the guru and given nirvikalpa samadhi right now. You're as happy as anything could ever be. Your happiness itself, your spirit itself. You're pain-free. You're going to see that one of the states coming up here we're going to talk about is the pain-free state. Pain-free, pain-free. And what is the most serious pain you can have? Well, it might be bereavement. It might be that you're so afraid of death, right? Loss of going through that story that you go. This is why unless till we shift out from our storybook, that we continue to write the damn story from a human perspective, from a pseudo ego. The pseudo ego is just it's rooting for you, baby. It's rooting for you to step up, be that soul self, be still, be loving, be accepting, be compassionate, right? Hold the steady light of inner concentration, and it will review all the beauties of material objects as light, as pure consciousness, as spirit bliss around it. That's pretty beautiful, but that's an inner beauty, right? That's something that you don't see. It's nothing physical. There's a non-physical reality going on, my dears. So the unwavering light of inner consecration, free from gust of restlessness, reveals the everlasting glory of spirit. Steady flame. Steady. If you can't go steady with yourself, who are you going to really be loyal to? Right? How are you going to be of really any kind of service and of real value to anyone else or to our world at large, which you are all of it? You're the cosmic self and you're the little self. You're never separate from the whole big operating, divine, perfect, harmonious, God-saturated universe and how it works to the detail. You're not separate from it at all. And you're free from the gust of restlessness, revealing the everlasting glory of spirit. To keep a candle flame on flickering, it must be sheltered from any breeze. Watch the little breezes that come up that start to tingle, to bring up maybe a thought form or a sensation experience, and then the associated thoughts come through there, and pretty much we're gone in a second if we even let the breeze in even a little bit. This is perfect calm time. This is immutable. This is that Mushin mind, right? Imperturbable mind. I am imperturbable mind. I am imperturbable. Why? Because the mind is now surrendered into the heart space. The heart is the 1,000 times. I put a quote up on my Facebook page about how the scientist in I think it was Germany discovered how the photons coming from a heart is, so it's irradiating, it's emitting something generally for most people, if they're even a halfway decent person, right? But if you are living in the heart space, if you are keeping that candle lit, it's thousands of times more powerful than anything that can come from your heart space. Read that quote. It's up on my Facebook, Tom Kelly. It must be sheltered from the breeze. That flame that's unflickering must be sheltered from the breeze, my dear. Similarly, the flame of the yogi's meditation-born perception. First of all, have we meditated today? Huh? And second of all, where was your mind? Third, how active was your heart space? 4, did you find some inner peace? Did you discover some inner peace? And 6, 5, did you maintain it? So you were without thought for a little while this morning in your meditation. And the perception, what perception did you get from all that this morning? Because that meditation-born perception must remain steadily burning. That perception that came from your morning meditation must remain steadily burning, undisturbed and unwavering before the gust of delusion, impassioned feeling. This is classic yoga, my dears. You're classic. You're classic for just listening this morning. You're classic for hearing this. And some of you have nodded, maybe even made up your mind that something just clicked and you are made up your mind. Your mind is less kind of, and it's just like, okay, I'm in here. And if I'm not, I'm in here, right? And I'll do whatever you're going to see coming up here. Maybe we won't get to it today because I've been yakking, but you're going to see that half-ass ain't going to do it. Just kind of ain't going to do it. Just a little meditation here and then forgetfulness the rest of the time ain't going to do it. Make up your mind for the divine today, now. Exactly what we're talking about. And if you need to listen over and over again to this stream, or pull out your lessons of SRF if you have them. If you don't have any lessons from SRF, get them. That one I read from you is lesson 52, the new lessons. Unbelievable. You got to saturate yourself in every conceivable way with the highest wisdom that you can get your hands on and get your heart focused on. Not your mind, your heart. Get your spirit engaged in this, man. Inflame that soul of yours, that enthusiasm of yours, unwavering, that meditation-born perception from the morning meditation, unwavering before the gust of delusion and passion feeling. A yogi who thus guards the flame of peace. You're guard. You're guardian of yourself. You got to guard your peace. You got to guard your little inspirations, man. You got to guard even the slightest whiff of a higher state of consciousness to be in, or a deeper practice today, or be just like this fastest returning back to your heart as the second that you know that you have left your heart space, you've left this and you're forgetful of this. You got to be the fastest one back in to your home. A yogi who thus guards the flame of peace from the onrush of momentary desires, because they're going to be after you too. That's the tiger. Momentary desires and innate likes and dislikes arising from an uncontrolled restlessness. That thing is why we've been born as who you are in this life, is to become calm, my dears, as the first thing, and then at peace as the second thing. Then in love and joy and happiness, unalloyed happiness, and then in samadhi bliss is why you've been born. But restlessness, uncontrolled restlessness, not allowed. Done. Not allowed. We got to guard the flame of peace from the onrush of momentary desires and innate likes and dislikes arising from the uncontrolled restlessness in our faculty of feeling. Chitta. Because if we can, we'll discover in that tranquil light, tranquility of the heart, my dears, a tranquil heart. Yogananda says that these sense telephones, we have the 5, right? The most active, where you just can't get any, it's always busy, eyes and ears, audio and sight. Busy, busy, busy eyes, busy, busy, busy listening, right? But he says the operators of your 5 senses. So first of all, we got to get those big boys, the eyes. What are you looking at? What are you looking for? Remember, it's have the faith, not sight. What did we just read? What did we just read in the Jesus? You want to walk by faith, not by sight. You want to walk by this intuitive realizations that you have going on in your, not by the sight. Because this heart needs to stay very, very tranquil and still. Beloved, 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 in your heart. Beloved, beloved, in your heart. Beloved's in my heart. Beloved's in your heart. Beloved's in every heart. We need to discover the tranquil light, the secret presence of God, a tranquil light that we keep lit in the heart, and the secret presence of God that lives there. God, imagine everything that is the power of this universe, the power of spirit lives in your heart. And we don't want to pay attention to that. There's something better to more restlessness to add, more garbage to bring in rather than take out, right? More stuff to clutter the mind. So there's no room in the mind for any kind of a chance to get into the heart, right? Got to leave room in the mind, and we got to have an infinite patience and such a sweet compassion and forgiveness and such a lover and divine mother in the center of your heart. As a flickering light cannot distinctly reveal the outlines of objects near it, so the spiritual perception of a yogi who is agitated by material desires. Agitated. What a life of agitation, man. Desires for this and that. Putting all of the ability of ourselves to concentrate, draining our abilities to concentrate by putting it on distractions, scattering our attention, putting it on distractions that we create. What did Mark Twain say? He says, my life has just been filled with problems and struggles. Most of them never happened. My life has been filled with problems and struggles, but most of them never happened. Aren't we a little bit worn out from that monkey mind, that monkey consciousness mind? Hanuman mind is good, but not the restless monkey. As a flickering light cannot distinctly reveal the outlines of objects near it, so the spiritual perception of a yogi who is agitated by material desires, agitated, stirred up, emotional. There's just drama and trauma and stress and anxiety and nervousness, right? Does not reveal within him or her the clear presence of the divine. Oh, that big God breath. That big breath of spirit. That's the training, right? You just know that when you just stop. You got to just stop in your tracks when you find yourself off track, and receive a deep breath, a training breath, to receive God's presence fully, who's just totally with you, who knows you, who knows every state of your mind, everything. Knows exactly what you need in this step of the journey with him today. You thinking you got this steep climb, but he's saying, well, no, dear, we're going to go slow. We're going to take a little detour. We're going on scenic route today. You could be going on that. And if there is the thing that you are a little bit like, oh, I don't want to have that. And God says that, yeah, but I'm going to walk you there. And then I'm going to give you my angels too to assist you so that your foot doesn't touch one stone. It doesn't twist your foot. You have just strong footing step by step. and a great awareness in your heart space, breath by breath, right? So I hope, and I know, because as I am this, you are. And as you are, I am. Thank you. Thank you for your deep dive, everyone. Thank you for your spiritual attention on the only thing that matters. Thank you for your willingness to let go and detach. Don't ever think about changing him, her, or any happening. Let it be. You didn't come here to change this outer world. Impossible. It's a pig's tail. It's curly. You're going to go out and get it straight. You're going to straighten that pig's tail, my dears. Oh, what happened to Chad? Are you going to straighten out that? And it's just going to curl up in a second. You stop pulling on it to straighten it out. Leave it alone. Go and be absorbed, as I started this morning, from the last sentence of verse 18. The yogi and yogini should be fully concentrated, enjoying the blessed perception of her in his soul, and thus so absorb her and his feelings, every single one of them, that they absorb your feelings in your soul, in the heart of silence, so that those feelings are uninfluenced by material longings. God bless you, everybody. Thank you so much for holding the space. Thank you so much for co-creating this beautiful experience with us this morning. I really appreciate it. Keep going. We're one. We are tied together in enlarged heart, intuitive realization of these truths. We are one heart, one spirit heart, beloved. So thank you for going about this day from your meditation this morning, this meditation born perception, remaining steadily burning. Whatever is the biggest bang for your buck right now, the best feeling, the highest wisdom, the thing that's stirring your soul, man, and just moving your heart like nothing in the world or anyone or anything can do to move. It's moving from this place. You remain steadily burning that, undisturbed and unwavering before the gust of delusion and passion feeling. And guard it, right? And guard it with everything that you are. And you are everything. God bless. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.